Hello and welcome to another dsphotoblog.com video. In episode 1 of Looking Back, I'm taking a look at my Sony cameras from the past and the results I got with it. So relax and enjoy this travel back in time with me. First, I want to start with the Sony A200, which is my first ever DSLR. It had a 10.20 megapixel crop sensor with an optical viewfinder. The weight was only 625 grams and it was available for only $600 in 2008. Wow, that's a long time ago, almost 10 years, but I can still remember how much I loved this camera. The ISO performance and dynamic range wasn't all that good in comparison what APS-C cameras in 2017 like my Fuji X-T2 can do, but the CCD sensor in it had some very nice colors, very deep blacks, and that look was somehow special. With good lenses like from Minolta and the Tamron 19mm macro I used at that time, but also with the kit lens that came with it, you could get some very nice results with this old camera. Even now in 2017 I would still prefer it over any smartphone, and its 10 megapixel would be enough for social media too. The Sony A57 was a very special camera for me too, although I don't look so happy on this photo. It already had a translucent mirror in it which doesn't move, and also one of the first usable electronic viewfinders in 2012. The APS-C CMOS sensor had 16.1 megapixels and pretty good ISO performance and dynamic range. The weight was only 618 grams and it was available for $800 in 2012. The A57 and all other Sony SLT cameras were very important for Sony because some of the tech like the electronic viewfinder can be found in Sony's A7 cameras too. When I had the A57, I can remember very well that quite a lot of people asked me, what is this little thing with what you're shooting? And they really didn't take the camera seriously, nor Sony. Well, little did they know, most people were very surprised when I showed my results. A lot of people thought I must have used a DSLR from Canon or Nikon. The lenses I had at that time were the Sony 35mm 1.8, Minolta 50mm 1.4, which has a fantastic rendering and look, and my first Zeiss lens, the 16-80. The A7II was my first mirrorless camera, and if you watched all my other videos, then you already know that I shot a lot with it and really loved the camera and the results I got with it. It has a very good 24.3 megapixel sensor with 5-axis in-body stabilization and a good electronic viewfinder. The weight is only 556 grams. It's available since 2014 and still costs about $1,500. To be honest, the only reason why I switched from the Nikon D600 DSLR to the Sony A7II mirrorless was the D600 dust issue. I had the dust all over my photos and Nikon in Austria did not want to exchange it, although the camera was still on warranty, but more of that in episode 2 of Looking Back. The A7II is still a very good full-frame entry-level camera if you totally want or think you need full-frame. And I also loved using it with adapted lenses and autofocus, like with the amazing Sigma 24mm 1.4, the Canon 70-200 f4L, manual focus with the Minolta Apo 100-300mm, the 50mm Minolta Rockcore Macro, the Samyang 14mm 2.8 and the Samyang 85mm 1.4. And I also enjoyed using E-mount glass like the fantastic little Sony Zeiss 35mm 2.8 and the very slow 50mm 1.8. But wait, why did I switch to the Fuji X-T2 then? A lot of people asked me this after my X-T2 review and are still asking me, so I also want to take the time in this video to tell you once again why I made the switch. First of all, Sony makes the best sensors out there with the best dynamic range, ISO performance and image quality you can get at the moment. The A7II is no exception, as you can see. I still love all the results I got with it. I probably shot some of my best shots with this camera. But the only thing where Sony really sucks is pricing their lenses, if you want to further increase the quality of your lenses. The G-Master lenses like the 24-70 2.8 and the 200 2.8 GM are far too expensive even in comparison to other full frame lenses. So if you want those lenses which are essential to have with that zoom range and still have all the lens functions like IAF and so on, you are forced to buy those very expensive G-Master lenses. I know that Sony is working on it to release more lenses which have a lower price, but if you look what they did with the FE50mm 1.8, which was like $300 when I bought it, which is a lot more than Canon, Nikon and others charge for such a lens, but had such a terrible slow autofocus. I loved the look and image quality, but the AF was really terrible. So that's my number one reason for switching to Fuji, because Fuji's lenses are almost all fantastic and affordable without any G-Master tag on it. But the number one of all reasons for my switch is of course the image quality. The X-T2's image quality is equally as good, but gives you even more sharpness because you don't have the anti-aliasing filter in it. So if the image quality wasn't that good in the X-T2, I would have never ever switched to Fuji.
Oh, but you still amaze me. Give up on my way home, yeah.
This is the moment for those who
Now of course there are other reasons too for my switch, like the 2 SD card slots, 4K video, better build quality and weather resistance, faster and more responsive AF, very fast 14 FPS for sports, the X-T2 booster grip, much better electronic viewfinder and so on. So for me the switch was a complete upgrade. I really wanted to buy the A7 III, which I really hope for Sony users will have all that what the X-T2 has. But that's going to be very expensive. The price of the A7 III body only is rumored about $2,000 or more. Plus add the amount of money you're going to need for those G-Master glass. Of course you can adapt lenses like with the Sigma MC11 adapter or Metabones and it's going to work quite good. But really, what's the point in that, if you can have great affordable native mount glass like from Fuji? I hope you enjoyed this travel back in time. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching this video, see you in the next one.